Hi there, it's Ivan.
My name is Ruisa.
Hi, I'm Anakin.
I'm Lizzie. I'm a nurse.
My name is Hannah Cross.
My name is Nada Moussouf.
Hi, my name is Jana.
My name is Elena Stenzel.
Hi, my name is James.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
My name is Brenna. I'm 28 years old. I live in Montreal.
I am from Cairo, Egypt.
Hello, my name is Ines. I am 20 years old and I live in the Paris area.
Bellingham, Washington.
I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia.
I live in Barcelona.
Toronto, Ontario.
And right now I'm in Stavanger in Norway.
I am sheltered in place in San Francisco.
An average day during this pandemic for me is pretty much the same because I work from home generally. I run a small online newspaper, so we are not well resourced enough to have a proper office. So generally I get up, try and do a bit of stretching, get breakfast, coffee, essential, and then I get down to work.
I'm an essential worker, so I work at a housing project in Bellingham in downtown that's dedicated to folks with substance use disorders and mental health issues. My schedule's been a little different these days, so I've been waking up slightly earlier so I can get there to cover some of my coworkers who are vulnerable and who need to stay home and take care of their kids. Before I go to work, I make sure to shower in hot water, sanitize my hands, make sure I put on clean clothes that I've washed in hot water, and then I go to work. And when I get to work, I am behind glass for most of my shift, and I do my consultations with clients through the glass. If I do need to see someone in person for any reason, I wear a full mask and gloves. And then when my shift is over, I come home. I make sure that I get rid of the mask and the gloves that I'm wearing. I'll shower in hot water again and make sure I wash my clothes. I try not to touch anything in my house because I do live with 2 other people.
In the UK, it's still quite not too advanced compared to Italy or Spain or even France. So we see how it's going on in these other countries. We try to learn from them as professionals, and we'll do our best we can to provide the best care.
We do have some restrictions. We have like an ID card, and it has a number in it. So it's called Pico y Cédula, sorry. And what it does, it's like try to regulate the quantity or the amount of people that are out buying stuff or out on the streets. So it says like if, for example, if your ID card ends with a 4 or a 5, you can go only out like on Tuesdays and Fridays, for example. And they're telling like only 1 people per house can go out.
I don't plan most of my afternoons. Sometimes I'll do schoolwork until dinner, and other days I'll just work for an hour or 2 and then read a book or watch some YouTube videos or a movie. It really depends. Then around 6 p.m. I take my dog for a walk, but I have to make sure to fill out and sign this special confinement certificate we have here, and you need to have one every time you leave the house, and you also need to have your ID with you. Basically, to explain a bit more, you're only allowed to leave your house for groceries, medical appointments, or 1 daily walk outside, which has to be within a kilometer from your house, and that's about 0.6 miles, and it cannot last more than an hour.
I work in media. I work for like the main news outlet in the region I live in. So I currently work from home. We're really low in resources at the moment, not like paper-wise, but like people-wise. And yeah, there have already been some people ill at my newsroom. two of my colleagues are actually infected by the virus and they're suffering from COVID-19 at the moment. One of them is really like severely ill. He's in hospital and he needs to get oxygen and stuff. And yeah, I normally work the entire day and it's really busy, it's really hectic. For example, yesterday I completely forgot to take breaks and to eat. That hardly ever happens to me.
I woke up feeling very down. I didn't really know what to do today that's going to be different than yesterday, but then I could afford a therapy session, so I went to talk with my therapist online and I felt better and I felt that the day could get better and the day could have more things to do. So I started editing a video project I'm working on, a personal project.
And basically I'm trying to use this time to get the odd jobs done I don't get time to do when you normally live in. So such as painting, garden, cleaning, sorting my wardrobe out. Obviously this can only go on for so long and then I'll probably start going insane.
I have breakfast and probably take a shower, maybe a nap. I don't know, do some exercise, go shopping, clean stuff. Smooch Brenna. Whatever else needs to be done. Go outside.
Erin makes beautiful meals and we eat those and clean up. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Brenna. Or not clean up.
Or not clean up. And, you know, I really like going out to eat at restaurants. So I miss that a lot. But I think we're really lucky to be able to have delicious food that we can make for ourselves and have the means to be able to purchase that.
I've been cooking a lot, try and go for a walk. I think weekends are definitely mostly very lazy and trying to find anything I can do around the house. And I think that kind of leads into the most challenging part, which would be, you know, not being able or having that freedom to go outside and do what I, you know, would normally do. Seeing my friends is kind of hard. Not being able to, you know, be in contact with the people that I am on a daily basis.
Yeah, what's been challenging for me as my family and most of my friends live in Norway. So I worry a lot about when I will be able to see them again. And then they've also been putting a border around the area of Helsinki, so I can't for a while go outside of Helsinki, but that's not something I would do anyway.
I also really miss going to a bookstore and just getting lost in between bookshelves. I really miss that. And maybe the chance to go to the cinema. Really basic things that can make one's day.
Having to get physically stuck in the same place for weeks is not easy.
So not being able to see my family, my friends in person, that's something that I am finding quite hard.
I haven't really had to stay home for longer than 3-4 days in a row in a very, very long time. So it was a challenge for me to try and find things to do at home and try and find enough motivation to actually do things at home.
I cannot see my grandparents and my friends for such a long time. We've been meeting on Skype, but obviously that's not the same.
It is hard to tell what has been the most challenging part of all of this so far because a lot of things have become more complicated, but if I had to choose, I would obviously say the constant fear of losing someone you know or care about. A lot of people I know have been tested positive and some of them are in pretty bad shape, so this is without a doubt the most difficult part.
I think the most challenging thing for me would be the fact that we don't have a clear and settled protocol of how we should protect ourselves. It's It's scary because we do our best as nurses, but we're not really sure we are well protected. We put ourselves in danger of getting the virus, and I'm lucky not to live with any vulnerable person. I'm not living with my family, with my parents. I don't have any children. But if I would have, I would be really worried for my family.
I'm really happy I can work at the moment because it keeps me busy and it keeps my day structured. But also I would prefer to work in a field that is not surrounding coronavirus, because like my day is really like my radio news in the morning talk about corona, then I read it at work, then I have to do research about it for work, and it's just everywhere. And then I listen to some, I don't know, press conferences about it, and then I write about it, and then in the evening it's in the news again, and it's just everywhere. I feel like sometimes there's no escape to the topic, so I would prefer to work something that is like a bit off topic.
I'm self-employed. I'm a dentist here in Colombia. Most of us are self-employed, and we don't get like a formal contract. We only get like an informal kind of thing. So if we don't work, we don't produce, so we don't earn money.
If I were to narrow it down to like one hard thing for me, it's been in my counseling style, I tend to be like a very like hands-on person. So if someone is crying or upset and they're comfortable with it, it can be really helpful for me to put a hand on their back or hold their hand to try to kind of ground them a little bit while they're going through that mental health crisis. And having to stay 6 feet away from someone who's completely breaking down and not really being able to touch them is really difficult for me.
During this confinement, we were all so sensitive, and you become kind of crazy when you can't leave your house for 2 weeks. So you really have to be patient and self-disciplined to keep it together. And I think that's really important if you don't want to kill your entire family after, just a couple of days being locked down.
I think the biggest challenge through all of this has just been not really knowing how long it's going to last and how long we're going to have to stay in this new normal, and not being able to plan for the future.
Okay, what's something positive that you've been able to draw out of all of this?
Anything positive I can draw from the experience? There probably is, but generally speaking, I'm a pretty pessimistic person.
There are positive things, of course, but at this very moment, I don't think I see them clearly. I feel like right now I'm overwhelmed with confusion and doubt and worry.
And what is the positive side of this experience? I can see that there's a real team work around protecting ourselves, managing the patients, reassuring everyone, stress management. We are really supporting each other, and that's a really nice feeling because we're all in the same boat in a way, and we really need to look after ourselves and our colleagues.
So we did a story last week which was pretty positive on like an indigenous beer brewing company. They make like craft beer using like traditional ingredients from the clan group that you would call it here in Perth, but they've switched over to making hand sanitizer, which is cool. So it's good to see people sort of band together in that respect, even if it's just a small kind of business. But yeah, personally I think it's given me time to think about what I really value. But yeah.
This, a lot of negative news, and you still need to be working, you still need to gain the information and share it with the public, because that's your responsibility as a professional. And that's a cool experience. I guess the only positive things that I see in the pandemic right now. But also, to keep it a little bit funny, I guess that the birth rates around the world will be very high next year, because after this quarantine, people will be just hungry to date, to have sex, to be social again, and it will be super easy to find a match after pandemic.
I have been able to cook a lot and, develop more of a skill in baking and kind of practice the things that I like, or try things out that I've put on the back burner for a long time, and, not having an excuse to say I don't have time.
A positive thing I draw from this is that I start to realize what's important, and for example, I do value food more, as stupid as that sounds now. That's something I learned from this. I also learned how privileged I am to be staying in a house with my partner, and I have a good life, basically. I know people complain a lot, and I know it's hard to be at home alone and to be apart from people, but I mean, we're still very privileged, or I'm feeling very privileged to be staying in my apartment with my partner, not worrying about I don't know, not being able to eat the next day or something.
I do think it is human nature to take something for granted before it is really gone. Before this pandemic, it never really crossed my mind that being able to wake up in the morning in a good health and breathe normally as a blessing. But now I do. I do realize also that my relationship with God has been closer than before. I would say that this experience has perhaps made me slightly more religious. I realized that in this desperate moment, there is no one that can help you but God. I realize that today I have more respect towards the doctors, the nurses, the marginalized people such as taxi drivers, outsourced laborers, those who work at the cashier, waiters and waitresses in restaurants, and many others who have no choice but to go outside and work every day during this period because their pay depends on their daily attendance or because they are paid daily. As a form of appreciation, I also learned to be more generous. For example, giving tips to the person who delivers my food when I order delivery. And I think that in this difficult time, helping each other and those in need and being hand in hand together through this pandemic have never been more crucial than ever before.
Seeing and hearing everyone clap for the medical teams every night at 8 p.m., to thank them for their incredible work, that has been truly heartwarming. And seeing the world slow down also, and seeing people sing and dance together from their balconies, that's been very pleasant. I've been enjoying watching these videos. But yeah, I hope everyone is feeling well and staying safe during this global pandemic, and make sure you help your community the best way you can, even if it's by just sitting at home.
But stay safe, guys.
Lots of love from Germany. Stay healthy, and bye.
Okay, I think that's it for us. Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.